Kia ora koutou, and welcome to this video on the exciting progress we have made in implementing our new Ako o Rewa and how we have already started many of the right things in our classrooms that align with the new curriculum refresh. To start with, here's a quick history of Ako o Rewa at the college. In 2008, the school became focused on developing a shared sense of expectations for every classroom so that students would know what teachers would do and provide across the whole of the OC experience. Continuing with this theme of shared expectations but aligning it with the assessment for learning in 2016, the programme was really focused on what students should expect of themselves in the classroom. This introduced students understanding their own progress and expecting some choice as to the content and approach. The issue in 2016 with successfully implementing this was that we did not introduce curriculum levels until 2020, and up until then had been marking individual pieces of work, making progress more difficult to measure. With the introduction of curriculum levels, we were all set to properly launch the student-centred Ako o Rewa and rapidly made much progress in all departments. COVID has added some delay on the development of new habits for students and staff, but with the curriculum refresh further pushing the culture of making progress, the school is in a very strong position to make the most of this curriculum refresh to enhance learning at the college. As part of Ako o Rewa is our framework that outlines how teachers can transition to the ideal classroom environment outlined on the TKI website. From the more traditional environment where students would not expect choice and often not be able to explain why something was being learnt, through to offering options and considering progress, then shared or negotiated control through to stage 4 where students have been conditioned to expect that they could make genuine suggestions and be part of a co-constructed environment. This by no means is an easy transition, and it requires a shift in student and teacher habits and mindset towards the operation and even the purpose of the classroom. But successful examples from around the world report happier students and teachers. A key tool that we have already started to implement at this college is increasingly visible progress rubrics where students and teachers shape their discussions around the evidence that can be gathered through doing projects and work that the students can provide to the teacher as much as the teacher can gather themselves from the student. Under this system, the authenticity is gained through the ongoing process and communication between teacher and student to create a clear awareness and agreement as to what level has been reached currently. This makes the assessment process personal to each student and hugely reduces the need for standardised testing. In regards to knowledge and skills, the curriculum refresh frames the focus to 3 elements of understand, know and do. All learning needs to be strongly focused on a big idea. This wider concept allows all learners to connect more meaningfully to the learning as it should apply to multiple contexts. Under knowing, you explore sub-concepts and example topics that exemplify that big idea. When it comes to doing, we aspire to produce active learning environments where students, as often as possible, show genuine understanding by applying that knowledge they have gained to different contexts. This offers opportunities to personalise, so making learning more meaningful and culturally responsive to the student. As an example, our social studies department have spent the last few years shifting from the understanding that you learn and are tested on specific content and topics to the bigger ideas and wider concepts that apply to multiple historical events. The department asks students to show genuine understanding by comparing events and relationships to look for those wider concepts at play. By teaching to big ideas and expecting students to apply their learning in new or personal contexts, we create an environment that answers the infamous question of why are we learning this? This also makes it more equitable to all students as it aims to allow every student to connect with the learning, understand their progress and see purpose to every class they enter. As a summary, Ako o Rewa is 50% progress awareness within the student and 50% classrooms that offer the 5 essential tools for learning. Firstly, tools and class dialogue that suggest students should adjust their learning as needed. Secondly, very visible tools where they can measure their current progress. Thirdly, various tools that indicate they can communicate and express their learning in numerous ways. Fourth are tools that actively help them manage people and time. And lastly, tools to allow them to collaborate and communicate inside and outside the classroom. We have made significant progress over the last 2 years, and the sense of what Arco Orewa is has shifted amongst the staff, so the next step is to develop this culture amongst the students. Kia ora whānau, and thanks for putting up with my Technicolor slides and novelty music.